Welcome to the worst of the best podcast. You wanted the best. Well, they didn't freaking make it. So here's what you get. From Canada, Ryan and
Jason. Welcome to another episode of the Worst of the Best podcast. I'm your host, and with me returning again today, my brother Jason. So Jason, you actually have no idea what we're doing. You're going to know very quickly with our audience. Well, the audience knows because they've looked at the podcast title and description of the episode. However, we are doing a music episode. I think it's going to be a fun one, and we're going to play a little bit of a game. And Jason, you are going to play the part of the audience. This is what this episode is about.
I'm going in blind, completely blind. I have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, we never know what we're talking about, to be fair.
Oh, that's true.
And Jason's got a new microphone, so we apologize for the last time that he was on. You got a new microphone. You're sounding better.
I did. Yeah.
He literally just plugged it in and we hit record.
I just got back from picking it up.
Okay, what we're doing, folks, is we are doing songs that have been, I don't know if the term plagiarized, copied, whether it was by accident or on purpose. We're going to investigate. I actually don't know what the number is. We're going to kind of play it by ear, literally by ear, of how many examples we give and how long we talk about each artist or each band. Because some bands Jason and I are very familiar with, and we might give a little, hey, this is what we think of the artist or whatnot. But so it's kind of a combination of we're talking about artists, talking about songs, and how the songs, one song or artist kind of copied another song or artist, and we're going to see how egregious this is. So there's two ways we can do a worst pick, Jay. We can do the worst offender, the one that's the most blatant kind of ripoff, or the worst example, or both. So we can have some fun with this. We can say, that was kind of weak. But I think these are some pretty strong examples of plagiarism. And to kick things off, though, before we start, I'm not even going to play the two songs, the original and then the ripoff, because once I tell you the artist, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. You'll know exactly what song it is. But it's the greatest example of all of this. It's going to set the tone for what I'm talking about. Remember Vanilla Ice, 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 Baby?
Yes.
And do you recall what song the bass line came from?
Yeah, Under Pressure.
That's right. The Under Pressure, the David Bowie Queen song, of course.
Queen.
Incredible song. It's such a blatant bass line ripoff of that song, Jason, that people who have gone to listen to the original Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie, it comes in as a bit of an underdog because people mock it because they mock Vanilla Ice. It almost hurts this incredible song because of the Vanilla Ice song. Quite frankly, more people know that Vanilla Ice bass line than they do the Queen song, as sacrilegious as it might be.
Vanilla Ice did not give Queen a heads up.
That's right.
It's an obvious ripoff. People can do that and ask permission to have that beat or whatever, that loop in their song. Yeah, sample. Queen didn't get any heads up on this?
No.
He tried to pass it off as his own?
No, not that either. Let's listen to the words of Vanilla Ice, Jay. He might answer some of the questions you're asking.
Okay.
Was making it different. It's totally different. It's a rap song. It doesn't sound anything like theirs.
And just to prove his point, Vanilla breaks it down and sings the dings.
Ding, 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 diggy, ding, ding. Ding, 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 diggy, ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. That's the way theirs goes. Ours goes ding, 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 diggy, ding, ding. Ding, 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 diggy, ding, ding. That little bitty change. It's not the same. Ours goes ding, 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 diggy, ding, ding. Theirs goes. Ours goes. Little bitty change. It's not the same. Not the same. Not the same. It's not the same.
Does that answer your question, Jay?
He's such a professional musician that he can actually hear the difference. Because I can't.
It's there. It's subtle. It's there.
I think I could hear it at the very end. There's a little bit of which in the studio they can change, obviously. Just like they can change people's octaves or to auto-tune. They can add or subtract. How did he do it? Ding-ding.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a miscue or step when it changes verses.
I want to give him credit because he does a good job, but you could see there's some musical intuition in his ability to do that din din din.
Yeah.
Like what that actually, I can't replicate that little vocal whatever he doing. What is he doing? Rap with his beatbox?
Oh, sure. It's a bit of a, he was a young kid back then too. It's funny to think he's in his early 20s back then. And old joking aside, this sets the tone of what we're getting at here. You're going to be surprised by some of these. I was doing the research on this. So Jason did not do the help on this research. Jason, you did not help. I gave you a break this recording. I wanted to do this research because I wanted you to play along. So this first band, Jay, have you ever heard of the band's name Spirit?
Yes. Am I familiar? Struggling, but
I don't really know much about them. The song that I'm going to play for you is called Taurus. I believe after the constellation Taurus. Well, at least this song is all instrumental. There's no vocals, but we don't need vocals on this one. In fact, not all of them, but most of these are. It's the music part that's very similar, if not ripped off. The song is called Taurus from the band Spirit. Okay. Do you want to make your guess?
Or Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin.
Ooh. Okay. So we don't have to play that whole song. We know Stairway to Heaven.
Well, it's a ripoff.
I shouldn't say it's a softball for everyone, but I knew it'd be a softball for Jason. But that's the idea. That's how we're going to play today, folks. Some will be a little bit harder than others, but I think it'd be fun if we played together at home. So yeah, Jay, you nailed that. So
I want to listen to Spirit more.
It sounded really good.
It sounded legit.
So for each song, I'm going to give you the claim and the outcome. Very simple. So the claim is that Spirit alleged that Led Zeppelin copied the opening guitar progression of Stairway to Heaven from their song Taurus. The outcome was Led Zeppelin won the court case in 2020. Boy, better lawyers maybe?
Well, yeah, when your pockets are deep. Yeah.
So we'll let the judges at home play along. Now this one, Jason, might be a little bit tougher. I'm going to give you the artist, of course, is Chuck Berry. You ever heard of Chuck Berry?
Yes.
The song is called You Can't Catch Me. Don't listen too much to the music, Jay. I'm going to give you a bit of a hint here. It is a little bit of the music, but not really. Don't focus on the music. Berry's publishers claim that this artist, who is part of a band, borrowed lyrics and melody from the song You Can't Catch Me by Chuck Berry. This was a little bit tougher, but it's there.
Custom made, 'twas a flight deal with a powerful motor and some hideaway wings. Pushing on the button and you will hear her sing. Now you can't catch me.
Did you have a guess right now?
I'm going to say U2.
Nope.
Hawk Moon? Okay.
Not that recent. The music styling of the other song is the same. This was a little bit harder.
The vocalizing, the way that he's vocalizing the lyrics, phrasing.
That's right.
Okay, let's hear a little bit more.
Chuck Berry will actually say a lyric that the other band uses the exact same lyric. It's a very odd word, and that might be a big hint. It's coming up.
New Jersey Turnpike in the wee hours. I was rolling slow because of drizzling showers. Yeah, come on flat top. He was moving up with me, then come waving goodbye.
It's the flat top part.
That's right. It's the flat top.
Okay. I caught it.
Yeah, I know, it's at the tip of your brain. Another famous band covered the same song that we listened to growing up.
Yeah, come on flat top. He was moving up with me, then
Juju eyeballs.
Oh yeah. The Beatles. Yeah, come
he
together.
wore no shoe shine. He got Trojan football. He got monkey finger. He shoot Coca-Cola.
The way that they're phrasing the lyrics.
Can't play too much more of the Beatles. Hopefully that wasn't even enough for a hit. Whatever. It just takes a long time to clear from YouTube. They're the worst. All right, so there you go. Not bad, Jay. You got that one with a little bit of hints, but you got it. Okay, so Chuck Berry's publisher again claimed that John Lennon borrowed lyrics and the melody from the You Can't Catch Me song. The outcome, Jay, was it was settled out of court. Lennon agreed to record Berry's songs as part of the settlement. When things are settled, it's either, you're right. What do you want? It's too much to argue.
Well, that flat top, the phrasing of the flat top into the lyrics is way too coincidental.
Yeah. Now, this next one, we have actually, I don't want to give away too much hints here, but we did a music episode in the last few months. This band and song featured on that list, but I don't want to give away too much, but I'm going to play The Hollies, The Air That I Breathe. So the Hollies allege that this band song copied chord progressions and melody from their song?
If I could make a wish, I think I'd pass. Can't think of anything I need. No cigarettes, no sleep, no light, no sound.
Any idea?
No. But you know what does come to mind? The Verve sonnet. This reminds me of the Verve.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I didn't make that
More
connection.
than-
This one might not be the greatest example. The irony here is, so the claim here is that the Hollies allege that this band again copied the chord progressions and melody from their song, The Air That I Breathe. The irony is, this same band that was accused of this allegation accused an artist of ripping off their version of this song. Okay, you follow me? This band got accused and also accused another artist of ripping
Right.
off their version of the accusation.
They accused a band, and another band accused these people.
Yeah, so they're in the middle
Yeah.
of being accused and throwing accusations.
Yeah.
So you ever heard of Lana Del Rey? I think that's how you say it. Lana Del
Yeah.
Rey. I don't really know her. I know the
Oh,
name.
she's great.
Okay, so you might know the song. Then this song had a lot of millions of hits on YouTube. Very popular song according to YouTube. I've never heard it before until doing research for this episode. And then when I heard her version of this song, I was like, wow, that is really the other band. So it's kind of funny, the progression of the artist ripping off artist, ripping off artist. So let's check out her version of this same song.
I'm crossing the threshold from the ordinary world to the reveal of my heart. Undoubtedly,
Slower version.
that will for certain.
What bands do, or what they'll slow it down or spread it
Okay.
out, or to get
Any
around.
guesses yet?
No.
Just like an angel. Skin makes me cry.
Yeah.
No sound,
I hear it.
nothing to eat.
Take the dead out of the sea.
Yeah, there it is.
You have The Air That I Breathe, faster version, Radiohead in the middle, and then Lana Del Rey quite slower. So it's the same. Yeah, anyways, there you go. That was a fun one. Okay, so
So
That was the
what's
one-
the outcome of these fights?
yeah. Okay, a good question. Great question, Jason. What a great co-host. Yes. So back to The Air That I Breathe, the Hollies, The Air That I Breathe. The claim was the Hollies alleged that a Radiohead's Creep copied chord progressions and melody from their song. The outcome was songwriting credits were given to the Hollies writers from Radiohead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now Radiohead's like, cool, we took care of that. Lana Del Rey comes along, does her version of Creep. The outcome there was Radiohead alleged that Del Rey's Get Free borrowed the chord progression from Creep. The outcome was a settlement was reached, though details were never disclosed.
I think in that case, that might be it's just easier to settle out of court than fight it financially.
Sure. You ever heard of Sam Smith?
Yes.
Yeah, I only know him of recent controversy because he did this weird devil stuff on the stage recently. It was 20.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate because when he was early in his career, amazing.
Okay.
What an amazing vocalist. My goodness.
Well, I would agree with you, Jay. Sorry not to step on it. I would agree with you. Sorry, folks. There is a delay for whatever reason behind the curtain here. If you're seeing the delay on the video of Jason's video, it's not his fault. For whatever reason, my Wi-Fi is really acting bad right now. It's like hanging on with a 1 bar out of 3. And so there's a bit of an audio delay. So there'll be times I step on Jay. I don't mean to be rude more than I usually am. But okay. Yeah, I agree, Jason, with what you're saying, because I know the name. I don't know any of his songs. However, the song, one of his big hits called Stay With Me, came out about 10 years ago. 1.2 billion views on YouTube. That's not too bad, eh? So when we get to the chorus, Jason, you tell me which song, and it's an artist you're very familiar with, which song you think it might maybe inadvertently got tipped off by. So the write-up on this one is, and I'll keep the other artist a secret, this artist's team argued that Smith's Stay With Me resembled a song that they did. Obviously, there you go. I actually will give you the outcome. So Smith did agree to give this artist songwriting credits. So that's the outcome. So when you get songwriting credits, do they get some of that cut of the 1.2 billion
Yes.
views?
But songwriting credits is more important than the performing. The performer makes less than the songwriter.
I would suspect whatever platform they're on, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, YouTube.
Yeah, any money, I suppose, that they make from that song, a portion of it goes to whatever that agreement was, will go to how it's divvied out. So all the people that make music for Beyonce and Taylor Swift and Rihanna and all these pop artists, they're not making their own music. They're not sitting down with a pad and pick. I mean, Taylor Swift might lyrically or whatever, but she does have writers helping her. So all those writers are making a crap ton of money helping these pop artists.
Oh, won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. But darling, stay with me.
Ringing any bells, musical bells in your head?
It's not.
It's one's a little bit tricky, but once you hear the original, that's all I hear now. It's a slower version too, just a tad slower than the original. It's from a very famous artist that you like and a very famous song that you know.
Let's hear the sample again.
Oh, won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. But darling, stay with me.
Now, once I show you the original, you'll be like, oh, yes, it's there.
Yeah, I can hear it. Roll back down.
Won't be turned around. And I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground.
Now, of course, he sings it slower, but it's the same progression up and down, same notes. Yeah. So it's funny when I was hearing the Sam Smith, knowing, of course, I know that song very well, like you do. So when I heard Sam Smith's chorus, that's, you go back to Sam Smith, you could literally sing along. Whoa, back down, and I whoa, back down. Yeah, it's just a slower version. That's a fun one. Rest in peace to Tom. Can you believe it's already been, I think, 8 years?
That's unbelievable.
Now, Jay, you probably remember this one. This is one of our more famous ones, and I almost hesitated putting this one on here because I remember when this happened. This was sort of early internet days and stuff. But yeah, you'll remember this song by Katie Lang. Okay, do you remember which band? Do you recall?
Yeah, the Rolling Stones.
That's right, the Rolling Stones. Here we go. Now, what I love is the Rolling Stones. They get a lot of breaks. Like, how much music do you have to create, right? They've been around for 60 years. But this is what I love. So the claim was the Stones themselves noticed the similarity between their song and Katie Lang's track, and Lang was given co-writing credits preemptively.
That's very interesting.
I wonder, like, if their team was just like, hey guys, just so you know, this is pretty bang on. And it came around the same time-ish, because this was early 2000s, late 90s, I think. One way or the other, the Stones were just like, oops. And I love how they're like, before the song even came out, they gave Katie, and that's what I kind of remember. It's like she already had writing credits on the album before it got released. Joe Satriani, does this one sound familiar to you?
I don't recall the song, but I know that there is a battle there, yes.
Yes, yeah. All right, so I'm going to play you Joe Satriani's version, because his came out first, and then a very popular band came out afterwards with their version of Joe's song. Does it ring a bell?
Yeah, it rings a bell. Can't quite put my fingers on it, but I can hear it. Ding, ding, ding.
So Jason saw the video come on. He goes, yes, right away. What were you going to say before I hit play?
I thought in my mind it was a Coldplay song, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. So I couldn't really quite say, but yes.
Yeah, you're right. It was Coldplay. So it's Coldplay's Viva La Vida. What we just heard from Joe. Let's see how similar the chorus is here.
For some reason I can't explain. Once you've gone, it was never an honest word. That was when I ruled the world.
No violin in here. I think it's the violin parts.
Key next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars.
Yeah, so it's that part. Let's go back here. Is that overlay? I wonder if there's some mashup where you can put Joe's music underneath that singing part.
I'm sure people have.
What happened here, Jay, was Satriani claimed that Coldplay's Viva La Vida copied substantial portions of his instrumental track. It was settled out of court for an undisclosed amount.
This, I think, solidifies in my mind that many of these bands, these bigger commercial hit bands, do not write their own music. There's no way they're listening to Joe Satriani and going, we're going to rip off this thing of Joe Satriani. Musical writers who have a much broader musical are probably scouring for things that they can rip off.
How many Coldplay listeners ever listen to Joe Satriani? If I could,
right. As soon as Joe Satriani hears it, he's going to hear it.
Right.
The majority of people listening, those genres don't cross typically.
Yeah.
And Joe Satriani is almost 99% musical.
Mm-hmm.
And so most people aren't going to listen to Joe Satriani doodling on his guitar for hours and hours and hours, and then also listen to Coldplay. Those people aren't going to cross over. But the people who write music in the industry will have a broad range of influences in the music. And they probably have heard that and go, that's a really catchy little ditty in there.
No, it's a good theory.
So they insert these ideas into music that the artist has no idea will be there.
Right.
They just assume that the people helping them write are pure themselves. Oh, they're helping me write this music. They have no cheat or what, they're cheating.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a combination of songwriters. They're scouting other songs and ideas.
Yes.
And I also think there's sometimes stuff in the universe where humans, we did this episode previous to this one, remember? The similarities, where somebody had a comic that they created on the other side of the world, Dennis the Menace. Two different people created the same kind of character with the same titled name. The same day was released. So sometimes in the universe, there seems to be this
pyramids all around the world. And apparently no one communicated with each other. And they're too spread apart. Yet we're all making pyramids at the same time. But it's just funny that it was always done in this particular era of time.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. It's in the universe. It's in the psyche of humans.
Yeah. We're giving the musical industry too much. There will be there's only so many chord progressions. So I find this catchy, this chord progression catchy, and so does somebody else. But these big, huge commercial bands who claim that they do everything organically, I don't trust all of it.
No, you should be skeptical. That's our job, Jay. We're bringing this to the masses. Maybe we're exposing some people's favorite artists. We apologize. Chuck Berry, he's twice on our list.
He probably should be on here probably about 20 times.
I suspect the two Chuck Berry songs we're bringing up probably aren't the only poor victims. Poor Chuck. Poor Chuck. So tell me if this song, Jason, sounds like another song.
They're really rocking in Boston and Pittsburgh, PA, deep in the heart of Texas and round the Frisco Bay, all over St. Louis and down in New Orleans. All the
everybody's out surfing.
Surfing USA.
I saw your face. I hope I didn't spoil it for you. Is that what you got right now?
No, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And if you go to YouTube, it's hilarious. When you go to YouTube on the Surfing USA, like a lot of comments, this is my favorite Chuck Berry song. I had no idea. Did you?
No, I never heard of this one.
So let's hear that again.
They're really rocking in Boston and Pittsburgh, PA, deep in the heart of Texas and round the Frisco Bay, all over St. Louis, and down in New Orleans. All the cats wanna dance with sweet little 16. If everybody had an ocean across the USA, then everybody'd be served like California. You'd see them wearing their baggies.
So of course the difference is the ooh-ah.
They weren't even trying. At least try to pretend.
Yeah, at least Coldplay was singing over Joe's music. They were singing. What happened here, Jay, was
They stole it. That's what that.
so Barry accused the Beach Boys of copying the melody of Sweet Little 16, more than just the melody, everything. Barry was granted songwriting credits after a settling the dispute. I don't know what court would be like, no, I don't get it. I don't hear it. Yeah, so that was a fun one. Okay. All right. Now this one, I think this one's maybe not as egregious, but and I'm surprised because I kind of know both songs pretty well, but when you do play them back to back, I'm like, oh, maybe this happens. So you ever heard the Kinks?
Yes.
Well, this is a song, Old Day and Old Night. So there's a band at the same time or in this area of time that was accused of copying the riff and the structure of that song, Jay. And you tell me if you can catch who the culprit was that stole this version of the Kinks song. Here we go.
I'm not content to be with you in the daytime. Girl, I want to be with you all of the time.
Any guesses?
Girl, you really got me.
That's their song as well. That's their other song.
Oh, is
Well,
it?
yeah, so yeah, they sing both.
So they copy themselves?
They copy themselves.
Am I not hearing that?
That one is "You Really Got Me, Girl."
Or is it Pretty
you
Woman?
Really got me. No, good guess.
Oh.
Good guess. In that era, it's in that era. Again, listen to just one more time, and I'll bring up the other one. It's not as egregious. Like I said, it's not as egregious, but you're like, oh, I see it though. Once you hear it.
I'm not content to be with you in the daytime. Girl, I want. I love you. Won't you tell me your name? Hello, I love you. Let me jump in your game.
What do you think?
Yeah. For me, it'd be too coincidental. I hear the song. I'm not that big of a Doors person, but
I knew once you hear it, you'd know it right away. Yeah. So the Kinks accused the Doors of copying the riff and the structure of their song, and the Kinks did indeed receive a settlement and songwriting credit. So there you go.
yeah, I would agree with that. Am I bad to think that they ripped themselves off?
Well, it's like saying playing an AC/DC song. It says I don't.
I guess.
All right, Jay. Now this one, you ever heard of Lady Gaga and the song "Born This Way"? And do you already know this one?
No, I do not know this one. I mean, I know the song Born This
Okay.
Way, but I do not know what she's ripping off.
Look, you're very familiar with who she might be accused of copying here. Maybe it's intentional, because I'll give you the outcome later. Maybe it's intentional. I don't know. But here is her version of this song. Or, well, it's her song, I should say. Find the chorus here. So it's definitely the chorus. The chorus, I believe, is almost...
Right now, I'm hearing Madonna.
Which song?
Am I right?
Yeah, that's the artist. Boy, I barely even
Is
played
it
a second
Vogue?
of it.
Vogue?
It's in that era. It's not Vogue. I'll play her chorus.
Yeah.
So hold your head up, girl, and you'll go far. There's I'm beautiful.
Yeah, since she's on the steps. in
That's
the
right.
Video.
She's on the steps and she's wearing a suit.
What
Yeah.
song?
You're totally saying the song. You just forgot the title. So let me play a little bit more with Lady Gaga. So that is almost verbatim, Jason, to what you were describing. You described the music video, but I'll just play the audio here.
Make you feel like the queen on the throne. Make you love it till you can't come down. Don't go for second best, baby.
Express yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So very similar. So what do you think the outcome of here was, Jay? Now it's funny. Madonna
Oh,
didn't do the accusation. It was critics and fans pointed out the Gaga song resembled Madonna's '89 hit in melody and theme. Madonna did nothing about it.
Yeah. What do they say? Imitation is the best form of.
Flattery is the greatest form of flattery, or whatever. Whatever it's-
Yeah. I'm sure Madonna, that's probably Madonna's approach. She's probably say that's cool.
I wonder if
Each
Lady Gaga, very talented in her own right, and performer and singer. So I wonder if but she didn't announce that it was an homage. That's the problem. I don't think she said, by the way, I'm doing the song that pays homage to. She definitely is influenced by Madonna with the outfits and the the controversies and the whatever. Like, or I don't mean controversies, but when that shock factor, Madonna was very good at that, and Lady Gaga emulated that same type of performances and stuff. So that being said, I wonder if this was definitely an homage. Maybe she just went overboard with the homage without acknowledging Madonna, because it was brought to Madonna's attention. She's like, yeah, sounds good. I hear it, but good for her.
A song like that is probably a lot of songwriters, and Lady Gaga may not even have picked it up.
That goes back to your other theory. That's a great example of where it's almost like, hey, we got a great tune and beat for you. She's like, yeah, I like it. Thank you. Cool.
Okay, and then it sings on, and everybody else does the rest of the work, and she's not really that involved. Not that she can't be, but maybe just for a lot of these overproduced songs that she does, she might participate in the bare bones aspect of it, but they build and build and build, and often the song's not even close to what the original artist walked into the studio with, or the idea. The producers and mixers and engineers, they just take over.
Agreed. Now, this last one, Jay, you'll get it right away, I think. We're saving this for last. You tell me. Have you ever heard of the band called The Killing Joke?
No.
Tell me if you recognize this.
Yeah, Nirvana. It sounds like a ripoff. That's way too close. That's not a coincidence.
So what was the outcome here? So Killing Joke claimed that the riff in Nirvana's Come As You Are was strikingly similar to their song 80s. Killing Joke never filed a lawsuit, but the similarity has been widely acknowledged. If you go to YouTube, it's all over the comment section. Everyone says it's my favorite Nirvana song or whatever it is.
So who ripped off who?
Oh, Killing Joke was ripped off by Nirvana.
Oh, good. Yeah. But Killing Joke probably would have made the most amount of money if they went to court.
They pulled a Madonna card. They just let it go.
They shouldn't have. They would be much richer if they went to court over that.
So there you go. That's the full list. Now, I'm sorry we're all over the place, but let's see if we can do a quick rundown, Jay. So again, you can do what do you think is the most egregious or maybe the worst example. I'm going to kind of go with the most egregious because I think they're all pretty strong in some ways, but I'm going to go with most egregious myself. Maybe a worst example too, but I don't want to do worst example because that reflects my job finding these songs.
Yeah, but there's way more, right? There's so many of these examples. Zeppelin has a ton of allegations of ripping people off.
Those are honorable mentions. Led Zeppelin's Whole Lotta Love versus Willie Dixon's You Need Love was a ripoff accusation. It was one that I left it off the list. I try to stick to. I actually had more that I actually have this list in front of me. I have more. One for time, obviously, and two, people can let us know of ones we've missed if they want to interact with us via email or YouTube comments. Yeah, there are more. Obviously, this isn't the only list, but I wanted to do songs that you would in our audience would be very recognizable. It's like, oh yeah, Surfing USA and all that stuff. Like none of these songs were like you got majority of them without even hearing the original that I was talking about. I try to keep it to like songs you and I both knew, if that makes sense. Another one was Katy Perry's Roar versus Sarah Bareilles' Brave. There's actually a YouTube video that shows they play back and forth. They make it one song. That's how similar it is. And Sarah Bareilles also pulled Madonna and said, she didn't mean it. She didn't believe Perry copied her song intentionally. She acknowledged the similarities. So again, where this could be songwriter, you're right. It could be Sarah Bareilles' team saying, we work together with her writing team. Oops.
Or it's a bad look if you're crying.
It could seem petty. It could seem petty. Again, there was fans and critics that noticed that similarity the same way they did with Madonna, but both Sarah Bareilles and Madonna did the same thing. They were like, that's cool. Whatever. Okay, so here we go. Refresher. We started off strong, of course, with Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven with Spirit's Taurus. Chuck Berry's You Can't Catch Me versus the Beatles Come Together. Radiohead's Creep versus the Hollies In the Air That I Breathe, along with Lana Del Rey getting into a little threesome with Radiohead there. Sam Smith's Stay With Me versus Tom Petty's I Won't Back Down. Coldplay's Viva La Vida versus Joe Satriani, If I Could Fly. The Rolling Stones, Anybody See My Baby versus Katie Lang's Constant Craving. Again, I love what the Stones did. They're like, whoa, yeah, you're right. But let's just give her the credits before the album gets released. I love that class act by the Stones.
That's a weird one because it sounds like a ripoff.
I don't know. I don't know how that one happened.
How can it be that so close?
But you're right. What that conversation was, did they just rip it off and say, oh, we better give her credit? We like this so much. Who knows what the conversations were in the studio? You're right.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one.
Because they acknowledged it preemptively. So what does that mean?
Right. Or it was a complete fluke, and then somebody said, hey, do you know how close that is to this song? Do they really know Katie Lang? Are they listening to Katie Lang and going, oh, now that we've made the song and it's complete, we now hear it as a Katie Lang song. We better give her credit.
Yeah, I think the Stones, I think they write their own music. I think this is what
I do too. For the most part, yeah. They get help. I mean
everyone has collaborators, of course. Every band has collaborators.
Producers,
however, producers, collaborators. But I would suspect the Stones, out of all these artists, I think the Stones, how many songs do you write at some point when it's going to overlap, right? There's going to be, the Venn diagram is going to happen. So I think this was just a situation where both artists had the same kind of chorus at the same time. It's weird. The Beach Boys, Surfing USA versus Chuck Berry's Sweet Little 16. Nirvana's Come As You Are versus Killing Joke 80s. The Doors, Hello, I Love You versus the Kinks, All Day and All Night Long. Lastly, Lady Gaga, Born This Way versus Madonna's Express Yourself. Jay, quite a few egregious hits on here, but which one do you think is the most egregious?
I think I'm going to have to go with Surfing the USA, ripping off Chuck Berry.
It's almost like a Weird Al song. You know what I mean? They just literally changed the lyrics.
And Chuck Berry deserves better than that. I mean, he is a godfather of a lot of rock and roll.
Yes.
American rock and roll. And that to me just feels like an absolute.
That was a grand example of the white man stealing the black man.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like they just we just take whatever we want. So that's why I'm picking. I just think that's an absolute theft.
For the sake of having something else on the list, because there's actually just more than 10 songs, I think, or 10 examples we gave, I'm going to pick a different one, but couldn't agree more. That is a great pick, Jay. That was basically, that was the Beach Boys pulling a Weird Al and just changing the lyrics. That's all they did. I'm going to go with Nirvana's Come As You Are, taking the Killing Joke's riff. It's literally, they heard that riff and said, let's just slow it down half a beat per minute, whatever it was. They just slowed it down. You heard it right away. The moment I play, you're not even a huge Nirvana fan. When's the last time you listened to that song, Come As You Are?
When we did our album review of Nirvana.
Yeah, we did our, what was our mini
3-minute review of that album.
Yeah, if you want to hear our Nirvana Nevermind album review, I believe it starts before the U2 Octoon Baby album review.
Yes, it's very mini.
It's very mini.
It didn't take long to go, this album sucks.
Yeah. I almost picked Radiohead again because I hate that song so much. It keeps creeping into our list, Radiohead's Creep, but it was too much fun to talk about. So I'm going to go with Nirvana's. It's lazy. I think it's a complete ripoff. And I know they were kids at the time.
It's a complete ripoff, 100%.
I'll give them, the only credit I'll give them is that they were young and kids at the time. So they probably thought, again, no one's going to hear of this.
What was the name of the producer that worked with them?
During that album?
Yeah.
Nevermind. But what about him?
I wouldn't be surprised if he heard the Killing Joke and just ripped it off, because he actually did quite a bit of help on that album. I've seen interviews and stuff, and he was a big polisher of that album.
Okay, yeah, he's been producing albums since 83.
For a long time, yeah.
His name is Butch Vig.
Butch, yeah.
Oh, he is, that's why he looks and sounds familiar. Butch Vig. Yeah, he knows his music because Butch Vig, Jason, he is the drummer for the band Garbage.
Right. Yes.
And he's still with the band Garbage. So he's played on every Garbage album. He still tours with Garbage, and he's a music producer. So this guy knows music. So I would suspect, Jay, if anyone brought that into the studio, might have been him over Kurt.
Yes.
Interesting. So what else? I'm just going back to Butch here. He's been on every Garbage album, which they have actually 7 studio albums. He started producing in 83. His last album he produced was in 2022, but he did not produce Killing Joke. He produced a band called Killdozer. He also produced the Smashing Pumpkins' Gish.
Right. The band, oddly, here, Killing Joke, I looked them up, 15 studio albums.
Yeah, I would be interested to hear their sound.
I'm going to look into that. They're an English post-punk band, 7 live albums, 14 compilation albums, 5 extended plays, 31 singles and video album, and 4 video albums. So they're like a nobody. I just never heard of them. So
Yeah, their first
they've been a
studio
band since 1978. Wow.
That's crazy. But I'm looking at the reviews of their
Yeah.
first studio album. It's all like 9 out of 10, 5 out of 5.
Here's a band I'm going to look into.
The album has been called an underground classic for fans of heavy music. Dave Grohl.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Dave
we go.
Grohl has cited it as one of his favorite albums.
Oh, so they're just doing an homage, but they didn't give them credit? Is that his sly way of going, oh, yeah, we really like them?
Now, the song 80s wasn't on this album, but he's a fan of the band. There you go. There's your connection. Dave Grohl is a fan of the band. That's interesting. So Dave Grohl's a fan. So you guys, now you know how we do our research. The behind the scenes, how we do our research, folks.
Yeah, but this is also proof that people are vultures on other people's stuff, and that's not accidental. They just didn't give them credit. Another big one was George Michael. His song "Waiting for That Day" has the Rolling Stones in it. It's preemptively after they did it, he realized, wow, I just ripped off the Rolling Stones, and gave them credit preemptively, the way that Rolling Stones gave K.D. Lang. Rolling Stones gave K.D. Lang preemptive writing credits before any controversy or whatever. He just straight up said it.
Right. Interesting stuff. All right. Hey, this was a fun episode. I think this was a lot of fun to get through. Remember, in front of every silver lining, there's a cloud. And today for Jason, it was the Beach Boys Surfing USA ripping off Chuck Berry's Sweet Little 16 verbatim. And for Ryan, it was Nirvana's Come As You Are, slowing down, but ripping off verbatim the Killing Joke song of the 80s.